You've heard the stories. The 4 a.m. wake-ups, the cold showers, the 16-hour workdays stacked, one after another like bricks in an unrelenting wall. Discipline, the word alone, inspires images of gritty determination and unwavering focus. It's the sacred pillar of self-help gurus, high performers, and achievers everywhere. Discipline, we're told, is the ultimate key to success. Without it, you're nothing. With it, the world is yours. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Discipline has a dark side, and the more blindly we glorify it, the more we risk falling into a trap that can quietly consume our peace, distort our identity, and steal the very freedom we were chasing in the first place. This is the part of the story you rarely hear, not because it isn't real, but because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't sell courses. It doesn't make for flashy Instagram reels. It's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, but it's real. But over time, without balance, it can become a way to avoid vulnerability, a way to mask anxiety, a way to escape the unpredictability of life by micromanaging everything. It can dull your creativity. It can replace curiosity with rigidity. It can make you so focused on control that you forget how to live, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. They've optimized their days, but lost their sense of wonder. They've hacked their productivity, but feel like machines. You wake up at the same time every morning. You hit the gym at the same hour. But without moderation, discipline becomes obsession. An obsession, even with the right intentions, can derail everything. You track every meal, every step, every second of screen time. From the outside, it looks like strength. But inside, something begins to shift. And today, we're going to talk about it. It means having days when you feel off, moments when motivation slips, times when you need to step away from the grind and just breathe. When discipline becomes a way to deny that, when it becomes a shield from your own humanity, it stops serving you and starts controlling you. Let's start with a hard truth. Discipline, when taken to the extreme, can become a prison. You start to fear rest. You see stillness as weakness. It all comes crashing down. You feel like you've failed. You feel ashamed. You feel like a fraud. It gives you something to point to, something that says, look how strong I am. Look how in control. And that can feel powerful, especially in a world that constantly feels out of control. You feel guilty for watching a movie, for sleeping in, for saying no to the gym on a rainy day. What starts as a tool to help you take control of your life can evolve into a rigid, unforgiving system that leaves no room for flexibility, spontaneity, or joy. The freedom you wanted, the life you thought discipline would unlock, starts to shrink. You no longer ask yourself what you feel like doing. You only ask what you should be doing. You stop listening to your body. You ignore your emotions. You bury discomfort under layers of routine. And in the name of becoming better, you lose touch with who you are. At first, discipline feels empowering. It brings structure. It builds momentum. It gives you a sense of control in a chaotic world. That's where the danger begins. Because discipline, at its extreme, doesn't just silence laziness, it can also silence intuition. Some people spend years locked inside a disciplined routine, only to look up one day and realize they're exhausted. They've built a life of constant progress, but no peace. And that's the paradox. We think discipline is the path to freedom. And to some extent it is. Without it, nothing meaningful gets done. This is especially dangerous when your identity gets wrapped up in being disciplined. Your worth becomes measured by how productive you were today, how much you got done, how close you stuck to the plan. But you're not a robot. You're a human being. And being human means being messy sometimes. The dark side of discipline is that it can become addictive. Not in the usual sense of the word, but in the way it feeds your ego. But it's a fragile kind of power. Because the moment you break the routine, the moment you miss a day or fall behind or choose rest instead of action, why? Because you tied your self-worth to your discipline. And now that it's broken, you don't know who you are without it. This is the silent weight that many high achievers carry. The invisible pressure to maintain the appearance of relentless drive. The fear that if they stop even for a moment, it will all unravel. But discipline was never meant to be a performance. It was meant to be a support system, a tool, not a chain. It should help you move forward, not hold you hostage. You don't eat clean, train hard, or work for 12 hours just to check boxes. You do it to serve a greater purpose, to build something meaningful, to become someone better. So how do you avoid falling into the trap? How do you stay disciplined without losing yourself? If it's causing more anxiety than it relieves, it's time to step back and ask a different question. It starts with understanding that discipline is not the goal, it's the vehicle. You don't wake up early just to say you did. But if the process is making you bitter, if it's draining the life out of you, what is this discipline really doing for me? Not just in terms of productivity, but in terms of fulfillment. Is it helping you feel more alive, more connected, more present? Or is it numbing you out, making you more mechanical, more anxious, more disconnected? Because there's a version of discipline that doesn't hurt, that doesn't require suffering to prove it's real, a version that includes rest, that honors mental health. You're not failing if you can't be a machine every day. You're not lazy if you choose balance over burnout. It becomes a sustainable way of living, one that builds resilience without crushing your spirit. If your discipline is no longer serving you, it's okay to change it. You're allowed to grow out of methods that once worked. You're allowed to evolve. That allows space for joy, play, and imperfection. It's the kind of discipline that adapts when life changes. Your habits with the life you actually want to live. That recognizes when you're burning out. That allows you to shift gears without guilt. It's strong, but it's also soft. Structured, but flexible. Committed, but compassionate. Letting go of the plan so you can listen to what you really need. This kind of discipline isn't about domination, it's about harmony. It recognizes that sometimes the most disciplined thing you can do is not push harder. Sometimes it's stepping away, saying no. Let's talk about the dark side of discipline. Not to scare people away from growth, but to make the path to growth more human. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. And that's the kind of wisdom that gets drowned out in today, as culture of hustle and grind. You're not broken if you need a break. You can build greatness, real greatness, without losing yourself in the process. You're human, and discipline, when it honors your humanity, becomes something far more powerful than a strict routine. So don't be afraid to reevaluate your systems. Don't be afraid to ask hard questions. The real strength isn't in never breaking the routine. It's in knowing when the routine is breaking you. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. Aligning your actions with your values, your routines with your goals. Not just in 10 years. Not just when you make it, but right now. Because success that costs you your peace is just another kind of failure. And discipline that demands you abandon yourself is not discipline at all. It's just another form of control dressed up as virtue. So let's be honest about it. Let's talk about the burnout, the rigidity, the guilt, the obsession. Because you can be committed without being consumed. You can be driven without being drained. And that might just be the most disciplined thing of all.